It was supposed to be over. Derek Miles had been exposed, humiliated, and stripped of his title. But that one sentence from the ethics officer haunted him. There's a file about him too, about Ethan Cole. Derek's hands tightened on the steering wheel as he stared at the MetroMart sign glowing in the night. So, the saint has secrets, he muttered. Let's see how holy the hero really is. Next morning, Ethan Cole walked into corporate headquarters like a man who owned the room. Calm, composed, every step a symbol of authority. But inside, he carried a storm no one could see. When the ethics officer, Ms. Voss, appeared at his door, her eyes sharp and knowing, Ethan forced a smile. Just catching up on reports, he said. She slid an envelope onto his desk. You might want to read this before your next evaluation. He froze. The label read, Internal Concern, Ethan Cole, Confidential. Meanwhile, across town, Derek returned to the store he once ruled. He walked through the aisles in silence, watching the team laugh and work freely under Sarah's leadership. For the first time, he realized how different things felt without fear. But the bitterness still burned. He opened his laptop that night, using his old access codes. Hidden deep in the system, he found it, Complaint, Manipulative Leadership Practices, Ethan Cole. Derek leaned closer, eyes wide. Got you, he whispered. At corporate HQ, Ethan sat across from Ms. Voss and 2 HR officers. Her tone was cool but heavy. Mr. Cole, this complaint claims you deliberately orchestrated the reassignment of colleagues, manipulating promotions, removing those who opposed you. Ethan's calm didn't waver. It was corporate restructuring, he said flatly. Ms. Voss raised an eyebrow. Then why does this document say executed by personal directive E. Cole? Ethan exhaled. Because the ones removed were toxic. I was protecting the team. She looked at him steadily. Or protecting your control. The room fell silent. Later that evening, Derek received an anonymous message. If you want the truth about Ethan Cole, meet me. The location, an abandoned MetroMart training facility. Derek arrived under flickering lights and froze. Standing there was Ms. Voss. You? He asked. She nodded. You think Ethan's a hero, but he's been writing his own redemption story for years. He doesn't just fix corruption, he manufactures it, then cleans it up to look like a savior. Derek frowned. That's insane. She stepped closer. Is it? Every downfall makes him look more righteous. You were just another chapter. Derek clenched his fists. Then help me expose him. Ms. Voss's eyes hardened. Be careful. You wanted revenge before. That blinded you. Don't let it happen again. He looked down. I don't want revenge. I want truth. That same night, Ethan stood by his office window, staring out at the city lights. His phone buzzed. A single text appeared. The file's been reopened. They know. He closed his eyes and whispered, so it begins. Because Ethan Cole wasn't the flawless leader everyone thought. He was a man walking a thin line, between justice and manipulation, between savior and sinner. 2 days later, Derek received a corporate summons. Reconsideration of termination. He smirked. Looks like we're both under review now, Cole. When he entered the boardroom, Ethan was already seated, expression unreadable. Ms. Voss walked in last, carrying a single folder. Gentlemen, she said, this concerns both of you. She placed it on the table and opened it slowly. Inside were 2 signatures, Ethan Cole and Derek Miles. The title read, Confidential Operation, Behavioral Compliance Program. Authorized by Joint Initiative. Both men froze. Derek's voice broke the silence. What is this? Ms. Voss looked at them both. It means you weren't enemies. You were partners. You just forgot. The room fell silent. Derek's eyes flicked from the file to Ethan's face, confusion and fury battling behind his stare. Partners? He said slowly. You're telling me we work together? Ethan's jaw tightened. That's impossible. I've never... Ms. Voss interrupted, her voice low but sharp. You did. Both of you. 2 years ago, you were part of a confidential corporate program, behavioral compliance. The company's secret experiment in testing leadership under pressure. She pushed the folder closer. You weren't enemies. You were subjects. Ethan's face went pale as he skimmed the papers. His own signature. His own notes. Directives about employee stress, morale manipulation, disciplinary simulations. Derek read over his shoulder, disbelief spreading across his face. You mean to tell me all that chaos, the fake audits, the impossible quotas, that was part of some test? Ms. Voss nodded. To study how power corrupts. To see which leaders would break under pressure, and which ones would rise. Derek's voice cracked. And they used us. Ethan's hands clenched. No, he muttered, anger breaking through his calm. They used everyone. He looked at Ms. Voss sharply. Who authorized this? Her eyes darted away. The board. Ethan stood, his tone ice cold. Then the board's going to answer for it. But before he could move, Derek spoke, his tone shaking with something between rage and revelation. You knew, didn't you? Maybe not the full picture, but you knew something was off. That's why you came after me. Ethan turned. I came after you because you were cruel. Derek's eyes narrowed. No, you came after me because I reminded you of you. Silence. Heavy. True. Ethan didn't deny it. Ms. Voss closed the folder slowly. Gentlemen, there's more. After the experiment ended, the company buried the program. But one of you kept the results. She slid out a single page, an old report marked recovered from private drive, Ethan Cole. Derek's head snapped up. You kept it. Ethan swallowed hard. I had to. What they did was wrong. Derek shook his head. You didn't keep it to expose them. You kept it to use it. You built your career on cleaning up the mess they made, and you let me take the fall. Ethan's voice hardened. You made your own choices, Derek. Derek shot back. So did you. Ms. Voss stood, her tone cutting through the tension. Enough. You both let this company turn you into experiments, two sides of the same coin. And now, you've both seen what power really does. She turned toward the window, city lights reflecting off her glasses. But there's something you still don't know. The board plans to delete every trace of the compliance program by midnight, which means every file, every name, every truth, gone. Ethan stepped forward. Then we leak it. Derek blinked. We what? Ethan's tone was steady now, calm but fierce. We expose them all. Every leader who played God with people's lives. No more secrets. Ms. Voss's expression was unreadable. That would destroy MetroMart. Thousands of jobs. Ethan looked her dead in the eye. Then maybe it deserves to fall. Derek hesitated. For the first time, he wasn't thinking about revenge, just redemption. If we do this, he said quietly, we're finished. Neither of us will work again. Ethan nodded. Maybe that's the price for the truth. A long pause. Then Derek reached across the table. All right. One last partnership. Ethan's eyes softened just slightly. The right way this time. They shook hands, not as enemies, not as rivals, but as two men finally seeing the truth behind their own failures. That night, the storm broke. Anonymous files flooded corporate inboxes. Whistleblower documents leaked to every major news outlet. MetroMart behavioral. Compliance program exposed. The story exploded across headlines. The board resigned within hours. Investigations launched overnight. And for once, both Ethan Cole and Derek Miles were silent. A week later, Derek stood outside the now dark MetroMart. The sign half-lit, the parking lot empty. Sarah approached quietly, a coffee in hand. You did it, didn't you? She asked. Derek gave a tired smile. We did what was right. Maybe too late, but we did. She nodded. So what happens now? Derek looked out at the fading lights. Now, I start over. For real this time. Across town, Ethan sat in a bare office, his badge turned in, his career over. Ms. Voss entered, holding a folder. "You could have stayed silent," she said softly. "You could have kept everything." Ethan looked at her, eyes weary but certain. "Silence is how this all began." She studied him for a long moment. "You know the board isn't done. They'll come for you." Ethan's lips curved into a faint smile. "Then let them. This time, I'm not hiding behind a title." As she left, Ethan glanced at the window, at the reflection of a man who had finally lost everything but found himself. Back at MetroMart, Derek locked the doors one last time. The wind carried the faint hum of fluorescent lights, the ghosts of voices, the echoes of power lost and truth revealed. He paused, looking up at the store sign, whispering, "Respect everyone, even the ones who can't do anything for you." For a moment, the world felt still, peaceful, free. But as he turned to leave, a car engine idled nearby. A dark sedan, tinted windows, a brief flash of a camera lens. Then it was gone. Across town, Ethan's phone buzzed. One message. No name. Just 4 words. "You think it's over?" Ethan stared at the screen, expression unreadable. Then, softly, almost to himself, he said, "Not yet."